Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch, where today we have returned for Season 2, Episode 2 of Exalted Essence, The Wild Hunters. Before we get too far in, um, I just wanted to thank everybody who had helped us bring it across the finish line for Pugmire Unleashed. We had a very successful backer kit campaign. We were able to raise, I think it was around 400%. It was a lot of our goal, um, and that was due in part as well to, I believe, Ryan and Bliss were both involved in the actual play. So thank you both for that. Um, and then I want to remind everybody that over at Drive Through RPG right now, the Christmas in July sale is active. There are hundreds of our titles on sale, and we have a couple of special deals running as well. Christmas in July will go through, let's see, the next 7 days, looks like we got left. So if you've not yet headed over and checked that out, and that is across all of the um, drive-through sites. So you can drive through fiction, drive through comics. They have sales going on in both of those places. The Roll20 has sales. All sorts of stuff. All sorts of lovely, lovely discounts. Head over, check that out. Pick up any PDFs that you might have not yet gotten. I think that pays the bills for us. So before we dive too far into the story, let's go ahead and meet our cast. If you would please, Bliss, tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Hello, I am Bliss Steele, she, her. I am playing Cessus Telrea, also she, her. She is a bow-wielding, sneaky person with a big black cat. I used to do spicy video gaming streams, but I'm on hiatus at the moment and not sure when I'll be back because I have a small human inside of my belly that is due in a month. Oh my God. And yeah, nothing really to promote either. Just happy to be here.
No, we're happy to have you here. It's always a pleasure to share the screen with you. Michael, your pertinence, please.
Hello, you may know me as Asterisk VTuber or Aster on the internet. I am a composer, sound designer, VTuber, writer, and generally just a lover of TTRPGs as well. Um, I am playing today Cessus Volcan, who is getting, guy with sword is a little bit less just guy with sword these days, especially in season 2. So that's gonna be pretty fun. But yeah, nothing too crazy to promote right now. I'm also on hiatus for life purposes, and yeah, also happy to be here.
Well, and also happy to have you. I appreciate you being here amid the various life that is occurring. Um,
Yep.
Speaking of life, Ryan, your pertinence, please.
I'm sorry, I have to do this. Life. Don't talk to me about life. Shout out to Marvin, the paranoid
If
android.
anyone were the embodiment of Marvin the Paranoid Android, I would believe it was you.
Oh, thank you for that, Travis. Really appreciate that. I'm not. Well, I'm sort of on hiatus. I used to. End of last year, I stopped running a show here on twitch.tv/ the Onyx Path about writing community content. I'm on hiatus from that just because a whole lot of stuff happened and it keeps happening. Um, I got a kitten, then I burned out, then I just ended up with more work than I had time to do, and it's a whole thing. I hope to get back to that show soon because I really enjoyed doing it, and hopefully you all like doing it. But I have had the time to release more games now than ever in the past, so I'm just gonna say if you want to swing by the link in the chat or just linktree/bardic bubbles. Find all my links, go to all my shops, buy all of my things. My latest release was a one-page Stardew inspired journaling TTRPG
Ooh,
because it's cozy and we all need cozy times right now.
that's fancy. I'll have to check that out. That's awesome.
And I'm playing Tepet Marisi, him, who is a necromancer.
Glorious. Alrighty. And so, yeah, that break leaves us to me. I'm Travis Heday. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. And I have a bunch of games running this weekend over at Start Playing as part of Onyx Path's game weekend. I'll drop a link for that in the chat. In the event that you would be interested in playing a game with me, I would love to share some time with you. Like I said, I've got stuff going on for the game night, but also I always have games running throughout the week, every week. So if you hit that and you see that there's nothing available in your schedule, you can hit my profile, and which you should be able to reach through any of the games that I have listed there, and see what else I have cooking, or just search for me. I believe they also have listings sorted by Game Master over there.
Travis is worth it.
Thanks, I appreciate that. That's very, very sweet of you to say.
Very true. Very true.
I will show mercy on your character this session. No,
Hell yeah, it worked out.
Speaking of,
I concur. By the way, I
Bliss, do you want to get in on this, or
I agree. Yes.
Thank you. Well, very sweet. So speaking of mercies and those in need of them, when last we met, you all had returned to Wu Jian, where you had found that the island had pretty much been divided between Catholic forces and the Neiman, I guess, loyal, or rather the Tepet loyal forces. You were able to get together with the governor and sort of discuss some plans. And while you were working those out, you came to the conclusion, I believe that while you were on your way to the island, correct me if I'm wrong, you came to the conclusion that there were some bad times on the way from the Skullstone archipelago. Some incoming forces of the dead. And so you kind of talked everybody into ceasing fire long enough for you to go and try to figure out exactly what was happening. You sent out a boat to engage in some diplomacy, where you spoke with the leader of this undead force, an abyssal exalt, by the name of the Night Drowned in Silence. When you spoke with her, you discovered that she was willing to negotiate. She was willing to offer you basically that she would turn her current forces around and go and beg her Death Lord for peace, for mercy, for Wu Jian, if you handed over Cessus Nemoya's military advisor, the garrison commander, Tepet Barrel Alun. Does that sound right? Does that sound like where we parked?
that does sound about right.
That is sound, yeah.
Glorious. Before we get too far into the events of this session, I know that some folks have milestones to spend. So, by all means, let's get those knocked out first. Michael, how many milestones? What milestones are you sitting on right now?
So much. I have 1 minor, 2 major, 1 personal, 2 exalt.
All right.
So
Let's see what we can burn up.
we're gonna start with, from last session, we finally kind of tapped into the 4 magical materials form stuff. So I feel like having an opportunity to potentially finally shed his heavy armor, I'm going to take the not the minor one, the personal milestone to unlock the first dot that I will have on stealth, because that kind of makes sense. So I'm gonna knock that out real quick.
Perfect.
Yay, welcome to the stealthy side.
Yeah. And
What's stealth?
I mean, so asking that question, I would say that maybe I should ask the question a little bit more, and I will use the minor milestone to get another point into stealth. And maybe this sounds a little ham-hogged, but I'm really just trying to spend these milestones that I have that I'm so if it's possible, I'm going to use one of the major milestones to raise my fortitude up by 1.
Sure.
And for the exalts and the major milestone that I have left, if it's possible to kind of skip me for a little bit, I am still looking through on what I want to do with them.
Sure. By all means. Yeah, I can swing back around to you.
Yeah.
Ryan, how many milestones are you sitting on at the moment?
I have 4, and I think I've allocated them as I would like to. So I've
Excellent.
gone for the next rank in Wood Dragon Martial Arts style, the
Okay.
Unbreakable Fascination exercise. So that is, I mean, it's all cool because it's Exalted, obviously. It's as anime as you can possibly get. BESM,
Sure.
eat your heart out. But it's if an opponent has power lower than my finesse +1, they suffer a penalty to attack me. And if they miss, if an opponent close or short range misses me with an attack, they have to pay power to move away from me. And then I can just make an AoE attack by ending that at any point.
Nice.
So that's cool. I also grabbed Corpse Razor. So that's in the Exalted Essence book. I grabbed Corpse Razor from Pillars of Creation, which is hey, you see that undead that I control? Yeah, it's a bomb now. Because it seems like it might be useful. And then I'm not spending these milestones yet because in game there's been no reason for me to do that. But I have a personal milestone that I would like to use to upgrade my Soul Searing Staff when I use it next to make it a secondary merit, if I may.
Sure.
And then I have an Exalt milestone that I would like, because I've not used Corpse Razor yet, but I'd like to use that Exalt milestone as a personal mode. Major milestone as a personal mode for the Corpse Razor spell that allows me to detonate undead I don't control, but it's like the difficulty is equal to the target's essence plus willpower or whatever. We'll figure it out later on down the line.
Sure. That's fair.
But I know you can earmark milestones and spend them later, so that's what I'm going to do with those.
Right on. And you also do have the option of spending a milestone like mid combat. So if you need to spend one that you had earmarked, then it will just adjust accordingly. So just so that you're aware that option exists.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yep. And Bliss, how about you? Any thoughts on how you want to spend your milestones?
Yeah, so I had one of each, and so I added a point to navigate because, and now it's at 4,
Sure.
which is pretty cool. I'm good at navigating. I've been spending a lot of time with what's her face?
Ellentine, yeah.
Yeah, Ellentine. And I used another one to upgrade my Jaguar from secondary to primary, if I can do that.
Yeah.
Not sure what that
think
really
so.
means.
Let me double check that because there's 1 or 2 that don't have a primary, but I thought familiar does. Let's see.
I think. I'm interested in this answer for my own reasons as well. Not that I use my familiar in any way, shape, or form, but
Yeah, I need to
just
use my
vibes.
cat more.
Familiar cannot be primary.
Ah.
Yep.
Okay,
So
never
that's
mind.
as good as the familiar can be. That said, if you wanted to, there are a couple things you could pick up instead. Which kind of milestone was that you were looking at spending that way?
Come on, my book's not loading.
Oh, that's
I think
okay.
it's personal, right? Or what's? There's one where you can.
Yeah,
think there's only
personal
one where you
lets
can-
you intensify a tertiary merit. I don't care if you use it for a higher level merit. That's fine. You can a major milestone lets you raise an existing merit or pick a new merit at a rating appropriate to the story.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So, if you're looking at another merit to take instead of that, since you can't necessarily pump up the familiar, I would say, what's your artifact at for your bow right now?
It's already a primary.
Is it? You have some Hearthstone slots for it then that aren't filled,
I
right?
do.
You could take a
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
Okay. How does that work?
So it would be, you could choose it at secondary to start off with. And that would give you access to a domain or manse and a standard Hearthstone. You would get additional motes at any scene where you're actually at the domain or manse. But so the assumption is that probably as a reward for the work that you've done, you've been given some sort of land that generates essence. If you are carrying the Hearthstone in an attuned artifact, such as your bow, you will gain an additional mote of essence per scene outside while you're outside of the place power. And you can make an awareness check at difficulty 3 to detect somebody else spending essence within the domain that you control. The secondary Hearthstones also grant different kind of special abilities that come along with them. And were you able to get your book booted up?
Yeah.
So starting on page 352, you would see a list of Hearthstones. They don't necessarily need to match like your type, and we can certainly reskin them as well. Those are just sort of a starting list of what's possible with Hearthstones. Let me check and see if there's more in Pillars.
There are some more in, yeah, there are some more in Pillars. It starts on page 199 because I have been looking at getting a hearth, like planning my artifact improval and hearthstones and stuff.
Yeah. There is a see, I'm just looking at the ones that are in here that might be of interest to you. Let's see here. This one's interesting from Pillars. There's the Gem of Allies Embrace, which is a wood aspected Hearthstone. Charms that require the wielder to be within a specific distance of an ally increase that distance by 1 range band. That's pretty handy. There's a Gem of Night Vision, which is fire aspected, and that it allows you to ignore penalties to your vision incurred by magical and natural darkness. I can't remember if you have ways around that by your aspect or not. I don't think so. So that's another handy option. And we can also, like, if you have like a concept for what you'd like it to do, I'm a-okay with sort of crafting one on the fly too. Looking at the ones that are in the Essence core. Let's see.
I think the Freedom Stone, the first one, looks useful.
Freedom
for my
Stone?
character.
Yeah, that is greater. How many milestones do you have?
Um, just the one, and I already had 2 Hearthstone slots from before
Okay.
that I haven't used, and I can use this to purchase another one.
Yeah, so since it's starting off greater, that's fine. But what we'll do is just the next time you take like a personal, we'll consume that to pay for the upgrade on it,
Okay.
if that makes sense. So yeah, go ahead and take
Yeah.
the Freedom Stone and pop it in, and then that gives you the Rain Grasping Evasion, where you can spend a mote to replace close combat roll to establish dominance in a grapple with physique if you want to, and also any mundane attempts to restrain you slip off, break, or otherwise suffer critical failure within seconds of touching you.
Oh, I don't have physique 3 though. Does that?
That just means you can't use that particular charm until you get a physique of 3.
Oh.
You can still use the other function of the Freedom Stone though.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you don't have a physique of 3, that wouldn't be any good anyway. So
Yeah.
all right, rock and
I
roll.
should add more to my physique. I don't have 1.
Well, as time goes by, you'll have that opportunity. There will be more milestones in your future. All right, and then Michael, did you settle on what you're doing with your final milestone?
The 2 exalted ones that I want to do, exalted milestones that I'm probably going to use is I'm going to get, what is this called? Elemental protection technique with one of the exalted milestone.
All right.
And then I think I will hold off on using the other ones.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Does anyone else have any other business tweaks, concerns, questions before we dive back into the tale?
I did have other milestones to spend.
Oh, what you got?
And so I spent one on, so I spent a major, I think. I always do it right and then I forget how I did it. On another charm. So I have Glorious Exalted Bolt now, and then I spent another milestone to add the mode to make it the elemental bolt attack. So now I can fire fire bolts and create a fire where it hits.
I think we get the bolt attack for free because we're dragon blooded. When you purchase the mode, the charm.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, my understanding of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you have the option of choosing that as your default when you buy the charm. But if you choose that as your default, then you don't get the default. You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
you buy the
So I'll
default
have
for
both.
a mode. Because I don't think you get both. I think you get the choice.
Modes. Whenever a character purchases a charm with a mode, they gain the default capabilities of the charm plus any relevant modes.
Plus any
automatically.
relevant modes. Oh, sweet. Okay. So yeah. So then you don't have to buy a second. Look at that.
So
It
regular
tells
one
you
makes
if you
your-
need to purchase the mode.
Okay. It makes your bolt or whatever, like instead of an arrow, it will have the artifact and powerful tags and be medium range. That's the regular one. And then the mode is the hazard that leaves behind. That is nice.
All right. In that case, then yeah, you don't have to buy the secondary. So
yeah, sorry, that's page 181 if you want to double check my
No,
take of it, Travis.
totally fine.
Also, just for my edification, I'm going to assume that since we are dealing with the dead, drowning embrace might not help in this situation as much.
In the sense that they don't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fair.
Okay, I'll keep that in my back pocket. I'm not gonna get it yet, but I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, there's there might be a breathing threat after this.
That one, that's living, and then I'll just jump.
It's my
grab it out of the
time.
water.
I mean, there will be, there are living within within their forces. There are, ghost
Yeah, I mean,
blooded and
on
such.
I was about to say onto Bissell Exalted living. I was like, no, they're undead. That's the whole point. They're undead
Right.
solar exaltations.
Right. Exactly that. Okay. So yeah, the way I'm interpreting this then is if the exalt mode were to need to be purchased separately, it would say stated in the mode. I guess is what they're saying here. So that's the ruling we're going to go with. All right. Does anybody else have any other expenditures?
I think I might have one left over now because of that, but I don't care.
Well, that's not a problem. We can, always bank it. Cool. In that case, then let's dive back into our action. So, remind me. I know there was discussion of you being sneaky, Telrea, and trying to do some recon. Did you wind up doing that before the negotiation or during the negotiation? Or were you with them when they were negotiating?
I don't remember.
All my notes say is that we were on our flagship and the Night Drowned in Silence approached us in a longboat. So I don't
Right.
believe I don't think we reached their fleet for Telrea to do the recon.
Right. It was the earlier fight where Telrea ran across. Because I remember Telrea running across the water, but that was the earlier conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Now my brains are readjusted. Forgive me. There's not a lot
Yeah,
going
I
on
didn't
up there
actually
these days.
need to do anything.
Fair enough. So yeah, they've taken their longboat back to the fleet. Y'all have the opportunity to turn around, head back in, and speak to the powers that be at the island, or go another route. What would you like to do? Her terms have been listed. So
Her terms are listed and she's gone, right?
yes.
I think as soon as she's gone, I will turn to Maris and Telrea and just. Do either of you have any idea why that she may want that one singular person?
If I can understand her meaning correctly, the fact that he, quote, made her the person that she is today, leads me to believe that he may have killed her. Which, if this is true, requires a interrogation seems like too harsh a word, but an interrogation with Barrel regarding the specifics of this of the situation. Because if he is at fault, and then I just kind of shrug. While House Tepet does need all of its soldiery, it does not need to harbor murderers.
And also, I don't think we are fit to have any sort of judgment on him. If he is Nemoya's man, then we need to have her make the final call. We should head back. If not to consult them, but to inform them at least of their terms.
Absolutely. It affects Cessus Nemoeth more than it affects the rest of us.
Precisely. I think we're going to turn the ship back.
Excellent.
Yep.
You whip around and start making your way back. with the ceasefire, I guess. Are you comfortable and confident in docking at the docks, or are you going to pull around the backside of the island and climb up?
With the ceasefire being as it um, is there a roll or anything I could make to see how solid of a job I did at convincing them to team up as we move forward?
I would say that would probably be embassy related.
Okay.
Barring that, I would say embassy at difficulty 3, uh, war at difficulty 3, or awareness at difficulty 5.
Okay. I'll do the embassy. Four successes.
Wonderful. You have no reason to believe that the ceasefire will not hold. You are under the impression that while the Catholic forces are, one might even say, like fanatical in their devotion to their house, you get the impression that they're not blinded to the fact that the exterior threat of the abyssals and the undead supersedes that conflict.
Okay. So that means as long as there's this black fog rolling in, we're pretty good to go.
Right, you're probably
Then.
fine until this issue has been addressed.
Okay. Then with that being
We
said,
hate each other, but we hate you more.
Right.
enemy of my enemy. I will kind of like almost as a like a small side comment to both Talrea and Maris would be like, we can dock here for now, but we should probably think about whether or not we would want them at our rear if we are able to finish this conflict at sea. It would be quite an opportune time for the Catholics to turn on us if the formation deems it easy enough to do so. But with that thought, I think at least my suggestion is let's just get this over with and dock as close as we can.
Any objections to that plan?
No, it like in character after Vulcan's said all of this, it also gestured to the mixed crew around us. It reinforces to the soldiery that we have belief in them and this truce, and that we are not doubting our own capabilities. It's a sound strategic decision.
Yeah, we will be docking at the docks then, and heading straight for Cessus Nemoya's estate.
Glorious. You're not interfered with on the way. One of the ground commanders of the Catholic forces do just ask you basically as you're getting off the boat, what news?
The short of it would be that abyssals are hard to bargain with, and abyssals aren't ones that we should be bargaining with. Get your forces ready.
Nods and moves out of the way. And they start preparing for a fight. The rest of the journey, uneventful and unbothered. You arrive at Nemoya's estate.
Right before we enter, I'm just gonna kind of stop and look over to Maris and just be like, since he is from your house, would you do the honors and asking? I don't want to intrude on this particular matter.
Of course, I believe that it would be best if all of us, the three of us, Tabit Barrel, Ancestors and Nemoya, were in a private room for this conversation.
Yes. Well, we will be present for sure. I just breaching the question, however.
No,
Any of these questions.
I will handle that as is my duty as a member of his house.
I'll nod and then we'll head in.
All right. You walk in. You find Nemoya, Barrel, Seafoam, and a few other soldiers gathered in the war room, talking about shoring up the island's defenses, trying to figure out what their best way of repelling a full-scale invasion is. Given that the last time they had to do that fairly recently didn't go so hot. So
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been as well as they could be. They're still alive, so I mean,
sure,
that
yeah.
would.
Take your wins where you can find them, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you walk in, Nemoya turns to you and smiles and says, "Oh, it is wonderful to see you've returned. Please tell me you have good tidings."
We have tidings and we need the room.
Sure. Everybody out. And she kind of waves her hand and everybody starts to leave.
If Barrel starts to leave, I'll gesture for him to stay as well.
All right, he does. Everybody else clears out.
We could end this invasion before it begins. But it requires the sacrifice of one of our own. And I just look at a Barrel.
He raises an eyebrow.
The Abyssal in charge of the invasion claims your life. She says that you made her the person she is today.
What does that even mean?
I took it to mean that your actions, whether deliberate, direct, indirect, accidental, led to her death and exaltation. Unless you are particularly in the habit of interacting with abyssals.
No. No, I've never interacted with the Abyssals directly.
I would give a description of the I forgot the cool title, Night Drowned in Silence.
As you start to recount her physical features, explaining that length of her hair, her height, her eyes, you can see like the realization, the familiarity sort of starting to slowly dawn on his face. And let's go ahead and have everybody go ahead and give me a. I guess this would probably be awareness, though embassy could also. Difficulty 3.
Squeaked it by the skin of my teeth. 3 exactly.
3 for me as well.
Volkan's just smiling and nodding inside.
Yes, very interesting.
Yes.
It's almost imperceptible to the two of you, but you catch sort of the moment of realization and shock and then guilt and then back to sort of stoicism. Like you see that emotional journey happen relatively quickly in his expression, but it's there. Like you're sure he knows exactly who the fuck she is.
Cool. So if, and then I let that pause drag out slightly too long, you have nothing further to say on this matter. The rest of her message was that if we turn you over, she will return to the Death Lords and beg for mercy on our behalf. If we do not turn you over, the Death Lords will. What was the phrasing? Something along the lines of bring peace to the realm.
He nods. And Nemoya says, no, we're not trading one life for a maybe.
That's the part that I was going to get at. Even with their champion begging, there's a chance that it wouldn't work.
A strong chance. And Beryl says, if she is who I think she is, I am likely responsible. Nemoya says, I don't care.
We came back, however, not necessarily to entertain this, but that if there is some sort of grudge, that may or may not provide strategical advantages or disadvantages. If we're able to lure their champion out with the fact that Beryl is on a particular front or something like that, of course we would be there to guarantee your man's safety as well, but there might be merit in this.
He chuckles. So you're suggesting we use me as bait and attack her when she comes to collect?
If you're going to put it that way.
He smiles and says, well, I admire the plan, and I'm not even opposed to it, but there's something you should know before we proceed. If she is who I believe her to be, this night drowned in silence was a living warrior. From the Wavecrest Archipelago. A commander of her own forces. It was 20 years ago, probably. I was a much younger man. Had just been given my first command. I was collecting taxes from a settlement disputed area in the archipelago when this captain and her forces engaged us. We met on the beach under a flag of truce. and I claimed I was arriving unarmed, but it was not the case. When she would not acquiesce to my conditions for surrender, I drew the knife that I had hidden on my person and slew her. It's not my proudest moment of command, and I've often regretted that decision. But that is the truth of the matter. So while I'm not necessarily opposed to the bait plan, I do want you to understand the mindset that is likely to trigger in this adversary.
This is possibly the one person in all of creation who would not fall for it.
Or at the very least, be willing to spin it around, have no reason to honor that truce, be more than willing to kill anybody that shows up to get to me. It's
So we modify it. We don't ever agree with the plan in the first place. However, leak information where you're leading troops. From what you've mentioned, there is a likelihood that even though she commands this legion, there's a high likelihood that she would herself personally come to collect you, or try to.
almost certainly.
We could split her off from her main force.
Conceivably. But what is to prevent the main force from coming to her aid the moment they realize there's a problem?
It will depend on whether or not we could. And then I'll kind of look over at the map. If we do leak this particular path that we took as a possibility, I'll point at the mountainside. This offers a potential. I would say this would offer a suggestion of a two-pronged attack that might work. But if we focus on one prong hard enough, they couldn't surround our forces in time. If we leak that you potentially are leading forces here, stationed here, they will only have two opportunities there to get to you. Number one is to raise the entirety of the land, starting from the docks, or they would go around. If they go around, then we can attack them from the docks. If they split, that means we can have our main forces push back whatever is coming at the docks. The idea is that I'm trying to bet that she won't want to risk you having a place to escape.
Well, and in her mind, justifiably or no, I am a coward. Dishonorable at the very least. I've no objection to using that to our advantage as well. Perhaps we leak to her that I am in fact attempting to escape.
We could do that. There is benefits and disadvantages to this, I would say. And you interject whenever you see fit, Taurea Maris. But, and, Cessus Nemoya, if we just leak the idea that Beryl is stationed here, that means we need to move you from the estate. We may have to sacrifice the estates for this plan to work, but we will have a more defensible area.
She nods. It is the most defensible place on the island.
If we leak that Beryl is escaping, we no longer have a defensible area. We just have potentially open seas combat.
If she nods. If we true, if we indicate that he's escaping through that mountain path, she may not take that bait. She may wait for him to get onto the water. Do you think she's ambitious enough to try to attack the estate directly?
I believe if in our leaks we mention that there's only a shoring of the rear,
I think, while this plan does have merit, that there are possibly two flaws with it. The first being, who would this information find its way to? This is not a siege yet. There are no spies within our ranks that we know of to pass this information on to her. And secondly, she is an abyssal. She's a Death Lord. She is beholden to, oh god, is it the Silver King? Something like that?
She is beholden to, I believe it's the Silver Prince.
Silver Prince, sorry. Who has more soldiery to call upon than anyone else who could help us. And the more of our people who die, the more soldiers they have. They don't care about raising the island because they're here to bring peace their way anyway, and their way is the cold stagnation of death.
the thing that I am trying to gamble not necessarily means whether or not they will raise the island, is that in raising the island it'll take more time and it'll give Beryl more time to escape. The more inland they are, the harder it is to get back onto their ships and go around and sail to catch up to him. And to your first point, it is not inconceivable that we will try to ask for reinforcements with the information that of what we potentially have stationed. And I also, well, I trust Telrea to be able to make it believable. Stealthy
Oh
is kind of
no,
her thing.
someone shot my arrow down.
So your suggestion is that Telrea miss and drop that in the wrong spot?
Can do that.
We could also time it so that it happens when they reach the land. It is a gamble, to say the least, and I agree with Maris. It is a stretch.
Why don't you all make your choice of embassy or war. I would also allow performance or stealth.
What is the purpose of this dice roll, so I can pick my attribute accordingly?
Sure. This is to foresee potential roadblocks to your plan and to assess potential assets that you might not be thinking of.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Eight.
8. I assume that
Yep.
was on a stealth roll, right?
Yep, and I got 2 10s.
Awesome.
I got 2 successes.
All right, only 2 successes. Okay.
I got a whole bunch of 5s. I got 1 success though.
One success.
Just add them together.
Alright.
That gives you a 10.
So
Yeah.
you can do with this information what you will, Telrea, but it occurs to you that the most, in your estimation, the most likely route to success is for you to walk in there and basically play traitor, to go in and tell the knight, no, they're not doing it. I don't agree with that. This is where he's going to be stationed. Spare the rest of the island. Or this is where he's going to be stationed while your forces are attacking the main front of the island. If you send a small enough group around back, you might be able to sneak in and snatch him up. However you wanted to frame that, you feel like your best bet is sneaking in, feigning a betrayal, and then sneaking out. The immediate downside that occurs to you in this plan is that in the event that the knight were to survive, she seems a vengeful sort. So she
has 2 targets.
It's one of those, like, it's incredibly immediate.
Yeah.
So yeah, you will have definitely earned a very, very, very potent and persistent enemy if this does not go the way you're hoping. So that is the idea that springs to mind for you. You may do with that what you will. You can share it with the class. You can say, nope, that's a dumb idea, and not do it. And just bring it up. As far as the rest of you go, yeah, no special insight pops up with those.
I will
that
share
results.
this idea. And also claim that if it's me that's doing that thing, no guarantee that I will be believed because I'm not that great at that kind of stuff. I'm good at sneaking in, but I'm bad at lying.
Perhaps we do not have to do it through deceit. Barrel is, after all, the head of your forces, says Nemoya. Where you are, it is likely to assume he would also be. If you are to publicly retreat from the front lines in the direction that we leave less defended, perhaps they'll take that bait.
Are they aware of our command structure?
I see no reason to believe they are or are not. However, if you are at the front lines with him and he makes a look at Barrel, a inordinate show of protecting you, they presumably will, even the most dim-witted of living beings amongst them, will be able to put 2 and 2 together.
That comes from your expertise, how many of those living would care to report this to their champion immediately?
A few, but equally, I believe that any will recognize that. So, meta, above table, whatever you want to say. Um, I'm assuming that following in the fine tradition of military history, Barrel's armor is ridiculously ostentatious compared to the every person on the street, like the privates of the army.
I mean, yes. He's wearing artifact armor. He's wearing jade armor. It's elaborate. Uh, you know, even the rank and file dragon bloods are not nearly as ostentatious. And he has his own, you know, he has his own banner. Aside from having like the Tepet banner, his division has a banner. So, um, I mean,
It sets
He
him
stands out.
apart.
yes, but and I guess I'll bring this up because I think it would be obvious enough that you all would clock this. You do not know if her forces know about this, let alone how much they know, right?
True.
For all you know, the only people who know that she has any interest in Beryl specifically were the ones that were at that conversation. You just don't know that.
Yeah, I'm admittedly I'm working more off of the assumption slash shaky reasoning that they'll go for it as this is clearly a huge target of opportunity here, rather than there are personal motivations at play within the
Sure, yeah,
ranking leadership.
that's fair. Yeah, I mean the governor running, or satrap, I guess technically, running is definitely a potential bait. The only concern that Namoya would bring up is she would say, if their interest is in conquering, and they don't specifically reason out that Beryl is on that ship, they're just going to let us go. Wouldn't you?
That's the point that I wanted to get at, is it completely depends on whether or not the champion themselves see Beryl leaving. Any other person that potentially adds a separation, a degree of separation, would make no assumption.
Beryl says, while I hate the idea of trying to fight her on the open water, perhaps the best bet is to combine what you all are saying. We don't give Telrea a lie to tell. Telrea goes and tells the truth that I and the governor that the governor has decided to evacuate, and I have decided to escort. That way, Telrea can make an impassioned plea to offer mercy to the people here, while she and she and a small force go and collect me. Or even just, as simple as do what you will with that information, but I ask that you hold to your word and do not attack the island, perhaps. I mean, maybe that means we're contending with their entire fleet against a few ships.
I agree with this plan. Of course, the Satrap should not be on that ship.
No, no, not a little bit.
There is another option that does not result in us lying to a Death Lord. If we have until out of character, I believe it was sunset before they arrive. If we send glance at Teleraire and Habo a message to the Night Drowned in Silence that the three of us will personally defend Barrel, having heard his side of the story. And then we take to the oceans, the three of us and our ship, our fleet, and make it seem like he is fleeing by triggering our anima banners. She will know where we are with our stated intention to defend him. Whether she will take that as a literally he is with us, I cannot foretell, obviously. But it is not a lie.
I fear for the fact that her intentions are not 100% aligned with her force's intentions. And if that is the case, the moment that the three of us leave, we may have a fight on our hands, but also we've weakened the island as well.
But similarly, we are three exalted princes of the earth. That is a threat, chance, challenge, call it what you will, that she cannot ignore and will undoubtedly send at least a large portion of her fleet, to deal with. Leaving the defenders here with an easier job.
Moya nods. She says, I am in favor of a plan that whatever plan involves the least amount of combat is where I am leaning toward. We have impressive forces at our disposal. But I don't want anyone to die if we can help it.
I give her a nod of complete support and understanding in that because, as I've said so many times, there's no realm without the people.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree with this plan then. We may just in fact pose a big enough threat for her to have to deal with first. And anima banners flaring and whatnot, it would make it almost seem as we are the biggest threat, and once we're gone in any capacity, the island is free for taking.
Then Beryl says, then why don't we just, instead of sitting around here talking about it, why don't we ride on them? We load up your fleet and we just go straight at them. We don't wait for them to come and attack us.
Because we're trying to actually win. We're trying to split their forces, or at least make it so that they have to move around us. If we ride into them, they have a force that is bigger than ours. They can't catch one boat. They can't catch a small contingency of boats, of ships, with an entire fleet. That's just not possible. She will have to break out a smaller unit just to catch up to us. And in doing so, we have a better chance. A much better chance, actually.
Because if everyone's on board with this plan, then that's what we'll do.
I believe that this conversation should also be held with the general of the Cathak forces.
Fair enough.
Wavebreaker, I think.
Mm.
Come to my notes.
Yep.
If this truce is to hold, there must be trust between us all.
Agreed.
And it must hold for this plan to work.
Well, and the reality of the situation is we are certainly putting them in the line of fire with this plan, because if they don't take the bait, it's whatever of your fleet are left behind and the Catholic fleet that are going to bear the brunt of that invasion. I guess that's what they get for taking the docks. So yeah, let's pull it together.
So I'll I assume there's a system of runners or something for Nemoya's orders.
Yeah.
Especially during wartime situations. So I'd go out of the room and get one of them to fetch Catholic Wavebreaker, so that we could formalize the plan with everyone who is involved, along with the Rose Black. Because
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I guess I would also pull Tellaraya and Vulcan to one side while this is all being while we're waiting for the generals to arrive. I know that I've made my position on Elentine clear and would rather stay ignorant of sidereal meddling in my life. However, it may be worth informing her of our plan.
Good point. Where is she? She's on our boat.
Valentine is on, probably.
He is on the boat. Yep.
All right. I will send a message to her. I'll be right back.
Okay. You just firing off an arrow?
Yeah, I don't feel like running all the way over there.
What does your message say?
Just informing her of the plan, of the whole plan. And, I'll say, like, if you have anything to say, or, like, if the sidereals are like, no, don't do it, stop, it'll set off a butterfly effect of bad stuff. Just send an arrow back, okay? LOL.
As you're wrapping the arrow around the message around the shaft of the arrow, you hear her voice behind you. No need to fire that.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Guess I'll tell you straight out. I will relay the plan.
She nods. I knew that I could tell things were coming to a head. I have a means by which I can temporarily ensure the safety of the island while you carry out your plan.
Oh, really?
It's not easy, and it will confuse the enemy army for certain, but it is likely to confuse everyone else as well.
We can handle a little confusion. What's the deal?
I will move Wu Jian.
Push it somewhere else.
Welcome to Wu Jersey.
Holy crap. That's a great idea. Actually.
While it is in
What?
transit, no communication will be possible from the island or to the island. To any outside observer, it will be as though the island does not exist.
And then you can bring it back, right?
Yes. My hope would be to keep it moving for the duration of the battle. Then when everything's done, I can just resettle it where it belongs.
Sheesh.
If it makes you
Okay.
feel any better, though, in case I can't get it back to where it was, everybody will think it's always been wherever I leave it.
Okay. Yeah. Here, let's go to Volkan and Maris and tell them this. We should probably tell everybody else too.
I'll leave that to you. My presence will only muddy things.
All right. Oh, should I not mention you?
I mean, no, that's fine. It's just that others that I interact with may not recall the details if it comes from me. If it comes from you, you are within fate's purview, so nothing will be obscured.
Sheesh, that's confusing. Right. Okay. I'll let you know what they say.
I will be meditating in the garden over there. I need to pull together as much essence as I can.
Imagine. Okay. My goodness.
She walks over and has a seat in the garden.
Wait. If you do this, would it be during the battle? If you do it before, then they won't know where we are.
I mean, I could do it at any time, but I think starting it once the battle starts is probably our best bet.
Okay.
Before they
Cool.
make sure, obviously, but because if you all are taking off in one direction to try to bait them, and there's
Yeah.
suddenly no island for them to attack, they'll all come that way. But if I wait till they're already actively engaged,
True that.
then they'll be like, "Oh shit, where'd the island go?" And you
Yeah.
know,
Guess we'll all. All right. Yep. Okay. True. Nah. Still means that a lot of civilians might die. But hey, it's our plan and we're doing it.
not
Okay,
if you. I mean,
okay,
if you
okay.
can keep them from making sure, the civilians will be safe. Lots of
Yeah. Yeah.
naval
So we'll have to
officers are going to
fight
die, but
in the water. Right. Okay. Cool. I will be right back.
she nods and goes and meditates.
All right, I'll go find Volkan and Maris and be like, hey, so we have a new plan. And I will tell them the new plan.
Immediately, Vulcan's gonna be like, "I'm sorry, she can do what?"
I know, right? I didn't question it because it was too crazy. But yeah, apparently being a sidereal helps you do stuff like that.
What did she mean by if we don't move the island back, everybody would just understand that the island was there in the first place? Is she saying that in moving fate, she creates a new reality?
It's kind of what it sounded like.
Possibly, or that she would just be reshaping reality so that it is as it has always been.
It's like a reality shift.
What's the difference between that and the first time we came around here, then? When we were on our wild hunt?
We would still have traveled to Wu Jian. We would still have laid over
No,
here and
not
investigated.
that, but the difference between her abilities and the one that made Wu Jian into that crystal glass abomination. She was
Oh.
from a different reality.
That wasn't Wu Jian.
Oh, not Wu Jian, yeah.
That was in the wave
That
crest.
was Wave Crest, yeah.
The wave crest.
Guess
Submarine.
the difference is that Elentine's not insane.
Semantically, we are wild hunters convened to hunt anathema. And then there's like the look on my face is I'm being hypocritical about this, and I know I am. While the sidereals as agents of the celestial bureaucracy are aligned with the realm, they are not anathema.
How would you categorize the anathema that we dealt with then?
Just start spewing immaculate creed.
I'll just be like, all right, stop. That's not what I meant.
More accurately, of course, the difference being that Elentine can move Wu Jian within our reality as we understand it, within fate as we understand it. Summer Rain was from a completely different fate, a different reality, a place where it is quite possible that we were not in ascendance.
Yeah, she wasn't invested in this particular linear-ish reality.
So that means one can affect our reality directly, and the other one just since they're from another reality, their realm melds with ours with no control.
Possibly, or possibly their exaltation was rewriting a localized reality to restore what she expected to see.
I'll just kind of lean back, whatever surface there is. If I don't lean, I guess I'll fall. No,
I'll lean
just
on
kinda,
the floor.
slowly back up into a wall, and just. So it was a sidereal that I needed. Yeah, no, moving the island would help. It would definitely help.
Yeah. So the question is, do we inform everybody else that's what's going to happen? Or ask their permission?
Believe
It would
that
be hard
this
to explain.
this is the perfect situation where the phrase forewarned is forearmed. It is apt. If we should fail and the island is returned to where it has always been, give a wry smile about the potential meaning of that sentence, it will still require defending.
Yes. I fear that if we do this in the middle of combat, we may we can do this. We can do this plan. We'll augment it and even go back, even try to split. I shouldn't be the one talking right now. And I'm just gonna walk out of the room. You both of you see without me even trying to hide it that I'm a little bit more frazzled about something about this whole island moving thing than just haha sidereal shit. Um, and yeah, Vulcan can't think very straight, it seems.
Where is Vulcan wandering to, or are you just sort of letting your feet take you?
Oh, were we at the balcony that we were before, that we usually just convene?
Sure, that's fair.
If that's the case, I'm just gonna kind of walk, not necessarily directly to the garden that Elentine was meditating in, but I'm just going to walk down and through, kind of like down the path, around the path of the what's his face, the estate.
Okay. Um, as you are wandering along, uh, you kind of get lost in thought. Um, your feet start kind of taking you in directions you didn't really intend. And you do find yourself in that garden. And you hear a voice behind you say, Avanala.
I instantly freeze. I'm
You
gonna
can
really hope.
absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say in character, I'm going to really hope that that was you, Valentine, because if it was anybody else, I would have to kill them.
She chuckles. It's me. Turn to face her.
Yeah.
Um, she is uh, simultaneously standing behind you, and then you look over and also meditating, probably about 100 feet away. She says, "You seem troubled."
Less troubled, more knowledged, and confused about what I could do with said knowledge. You said you could move the island, you could change the fate.
I can.
Reality
There's
would.
there's a method by which we can avoid foretold disaster by moving a location.
Is there a method to rewrite disasters that have already happened?
I'd be lying if I said no, but it's not generally what we do. Fate has occurred the way it has occurred for a reason. We can interact with it as we move along. We can respond to the stars, but going back and changing the past is dangerous at best. Why?
I would argue that the start of the immense avalanche that we call that we've see now, of the splintering of the dragon-blooded houses, started when a house that was became just that, a distant memory.
You wish to redeem your house. Moreover, to make sure it had never fallen out of favor.
What could I do?
You can hope for the future. You can be the hero you've proven yourself to be and stop hiding behind a false identity. You can claim this victory and then claim your rightful place. But what you can't do is go back and change time. And I hate to tell you this, but maybe it'll put your soul at ease. This situation is not because of your house. This situation is because of the Scarlet Empress.
I agree. But you also know that any of those former choices that you have mentioned would not work.
Do I? I knew a mere season ago that while the houses were bickering, they were united for the good of the realm. And then a civil war happened. Things change. As much as we try to guide and shepherd fate, fate has its plans and it alters things and circumstances evolve. And maybe when the dust settles and this war is done, the savior of two of the realm's most important cities can stand in the light of day and be honest about his nature. Maybe that is the greatest service he can offer his house.
The fickle nature of the houses of the dragon-blooded have taught me, specifically the house that I have been born to, I have been raised in, have told me that these wounds don't just die out. They don't they affect so much. So I could be known as Cessus, but anything outside of that, anything that has fallen out of favor, it does not seem, unless there is some sort of supernatural means, it does not seem possible.
Your first mistake, Avanala, it's a common problem with you dragon bloods. You seem to think that it requires magic to change the world. It doesn't. Honor, integrity, truth, those can change the world. Those can be more powerful than any charm.
None of those things helped my house in the first place.
Mm. No, because other people made other decisions. Because, including your house, let's be completely honest here.
No, of course.
This was a series of choices, like everything. Fate plays its role, fate sets the stage. But your choices and actions define you, not your charms, and certainly not the name of your house. You define that. I cannot change the past for you. Those who can likely won't. But hey, if you survive this, you can always make your way to, you know, the heavens and plead your case before the divine. Maybe they'll listen.
Thank you for your time.
Wish I had a better answer for you. Good luck with the fight. She fades back into the background, and I need you to make an integrity roll at difficulty 5, please.
Imagining her doing the Homer Simpson thing into the bush.
I'm just imagining like Cartman from South Park when he's screw you guys.
That is actually exactly 5. Holy crap.
Remarkably, you retain full knowledge of that conversation.
I wish I failed that roll.
You can elect to fail if you feel that it's better for your character.
No, I think it's not that it's better for the character. I think it's better for the player.
You got some
I
angst to deal with?
I think this is oh shit. I think there are some intimacies that may change after this. I will go back to the two of them
Right.
and
Just hold that thought for just a moment. The two of you, are there other things that you would be doing with this time while Vulcan was taking a breather?
I mean, I would be admitting to tell Raya that under the current circumstances, my necromancy is not going to be as useful as it has been up until this point, and that if she could just keep an eye out for me in the melee that will ensue, that would be fantastic, because my battlefield awareness is not as finely honed as your own or Cessa's Volcan's.
Don't worry. I got you. Are we still doing the thing where I go out to meet them first and tell them that Beryl's running away? Because if that's the case, then I will move with the island and not be able to catch up with you guys. If you are going with him.
Well, you would be able to route your way around and hop on the boat.
Okay. So I can catch up?
Yeah, you'd be able to.
I thought the information was through APS, Aero Postal Service.
Could do that.
The point.
My God, we've invented AIM.
Aerial Instant Messenger, yeah. No, just for clarification, the suggestion to have you go to it personally was because they thought that it was more likely to get a response. Whether or not you do that is somewhat immaterial. If your aim was to go and talk to them and then from there make your way to the boat, you wouldn't have to worry about the island being moved. The biggest concern, and Elentine's plan is to not begin the actual movement of the island until the fleets are fighting.
Right. Okay.
Because she wants them to be engaged and not able to just retreat to come snatch you all up.
So we'll have to wait until they move it to leave. Right?
No, not necessarily. So the order of events would be they come in, the fleet comes in for their attack. Y'all split pretty much the same time. Like as soon as it's clear the fleet's coming in, y'all leave. Then once the fleet is fully engaged in battle, right, whether or not someone is broken off to come chase you, Elentine moves the island. The island is now off the board. Nobody can do shit about it. It's just not, it's a non-entity. But the fleet is already locked up and you already have a head start. Now, whether or not they saw you right away or they don't see you until the island's gone, you know, that's really the thing that's up in the air. So if you go warn them ahead of time, then they will be able to break off a chunk you know, and maybe you even go warn them once the actual fighting has started. You know what I mean? Then they can break off a chunk and follow. But you would be relying on your stealth abilities, but you're pretty damn sneaky. So you're pretty
Yeah.
sure you could run back to the boat without them tracing you back to the boat. But that said, though, that's not necessary. You could also shoot them an arrow. You could also just not and assume that once they see the anima banners flaring, they're going to come that
Yeah.
way. But that's like the less that you communicate to them, the more you're relying on, I hope that they get the message type shit.
Right.
You know? And that said, too, you do have other options. Like the Rose Black would be more than happy to sail right up to their boat and be like, hey, you losers, they took off. Huh, good luck. You know, like,
We're not with them.
She ran out of
Peace.
fucks a while ago, so
Mm.
so she's willing to go piss off a Death Lord. She doesn't care.
That's a good idea.
So like that is an option.
Use
too.
Rose Black.
Yeah, and she's happy to be like
Okay.
right in the middle of the mix. Like they might attack you, and I hope so. You know, let them. Because she's a little on the cray cray side. Yeah. So that said, I guess as you all you were heading back in with them then, Vulcan.
Yes.
All right. So you all sort of reconvene. And before you reconvene, I want to just discuss a out of character matter real quick. I know you have something like a heart out a little bit later on. So I guess the question is, do y'all want to just do this scene, wrap for the week, and we're back in 2 weeks' time for our mid-season finale, basically, where we will then break until Bliss is recovered from the expulsion of a human being. Or do we want to take a bio break and then play out another 45 minutes or so? I'm cool literally either way. It's up to y'all. I just wanted to see where y'all were feeling. I also know, Bliss, that you get tired. So if you want to wrap it up in 10, we can just do this scene, wrap it up, come back 2 weeks time. Or do you want to do a bio break and hang out for another 45 hour?
I think the former is fine. That might be the shock of your colorful words that is changing my decision right now, but I think the former is fine. We'll just play out the theme.
Michael needs to process.
No.
The revelations about your character or my description of childbirth? Which one?
Yes. No.
Sorry, do you need to prepare yourself for Bliss's birthing experience?
No, not necessarily at all, I would say. No, I think I mean, I technically still have to prepare some stuff anyways, for later, so this would work out for me to just play out one scene.
Rock and roll.
It is up to
Yeah.
the other two.
I mean,
Sounds
to pull the writer card, narratively, it makes much cooler sense to to have the mid-season finale be a naval battle.
yes. Yes, agreed.
Yeah, so that's why wait, are we pausing 1 week and then the next week and is our
Yep.
last
So we're
before
off. No, we're our rotation should be 2 weeks from now. We will do the mid-season finale. After that, we're going to be off until Bliss is recovered.
Okay, yeah, so that the timing of it would
Yep.
be nice.
And worst case scenario, if Bliss does go into labor before then this still isn't a bad spot to park the car. You know. So, all right.
Yeah.
Cool. Then in that case, you return back to the planning room.
Sorry, I was a little distracted. It's hard. The concepts are a little hard sometimes to wrap my head around. So
It's okay. I just go with it. She said she's
Yeah.
gonna move an island. I was like, all right.
there
I'll go
are-
tell those guys.
There are two faces right now. Terra is like, cool, whatever. Maris is like, I need to know how to do this.
it admittedly, I feel remiss to be that lax about it since there are lives in danger for it. But
perhaps now you understand why I wish to know of Valentine's meddling as little as possible. It introduces greater questions than I'm equipped to deal with, or have the time to deal with. To my satisfaction, at any rate.
I am inclined to agree.
Eh,
But regardless, present problem is a little bit more important. Let's go with the plan. With, of course, the augmentation of Alentine being able to move the island so that we don't necessarily need too much of a casualty on the actual water on outside of us, potentially.
Yes, it is. It is definitely a weight off of my shoulders, and no doubt Cesis Nemo is, although she will absolutely be remaining here. However, it does mean that should we survive the first wave, there will be a second. As they catch up from whatever is left of the Cathag fleet holding them up.
See, that's the beauty of it. If we do survive the first wave, if we're able to kill the champion, the realization is no longer whether or not we've staved off the fight. It's whether or not our next wild hunt is going to be a little bit more violent, a little bit more direct. Because this is something that we cannot stave off forever.
I nod, and then Meta, I just need to check something I can do. Because if it's unclear, I feel like Travis might like the time to figure out the ramifications of me throwing a literal lightning bolt into a ship.
Ooh.
Because that's what the upgrade for Storm Calling strategies allows me to do. It will deal 7 damage if I have 5 power.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You can you can do your best Thor impression. You have a lightning bolt. You get a lightning bolt. You get a lightning bolt. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. I was just
Number
trying
of
to find
lightning
the
bolts, okay, I like it.
the ship rules for health and things of that nature. Okay, that's fine. I was like, it'll be a cool fight, but as a player, I don't want to end it too soon. But even the light ship starts with 8 health, so it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you blow up the ship, and it certainly is not going to be a light ship, many of the things on that ship are totally fine fighting on the surface of water. You know,
Yeah,
so
true.
it certainly will not just auto end the battle.
I didn't think it would, but it was one of those. I want to check because if it will, I'm not going to do it. Or obviously discuss it with you before the session to be like, hey, how can we do this in a fulfilling way?
I mean, listen,
but it's still cool?
as much as it might seem anticlimactic sometimes, if the group figures out how to one round the big bad, then congratulations for figuring out how to one round the big bad. You know,
True.
As Vulcan was pointing out, there's a bigger fish at the end of this. Like,
It's true.
Like realistically, you really want to stop this, you're probably gonna have to go to the Skullstone and like stop a Death Lord. You know?
Yeah, and Vulcan's choice right now is swing big sword and plan to swing big sword harder. So there's really not much else when we get into combat, I think.
Wonderful. So we have our plan and everything is sorted out and everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Have you settled on whether Telrea is going to send a note, physically go, or just be with y'all throwing anima banners and hoping for the best?
I mean, now that you pointed it out, I do kind of like the idea of just letting the Rose Black have the honors. Because I feel like
I like
that
that too.
puts Telraya at the least risk. It also just makes the Rose Black happy because she gets to stick it to an abyssal.
Right, and she can very much present that in a way where it's not like...
And it makes sense. Like, I'm not part of them. Why would I have to sacrifice myself?
It's like, hey, guess
Kind of
what? I just heard this weird rumor.
They fucked off and left me.
Right.
I'm
well,
going now.
Well, I mean, and to that end too. I mean, she may very well be. My thinking is it would be more like, hey, just so you all know, they're getting away, and now I'm gonna go fuck up your whole fleet. So you do what you want with that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I don't know that she's gonna leave the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty intimidating.
But it also means that she is potentially an ally who could be spared because like she's not going to stick around to defend an island that's not there anymore after things start going south.
Sure.
And
No.
there's no strategic sense in chasing her.
No. Her main objective will be the whole fleet that's remaining behind's main objective will be to cover. To keep as much of their fleet occupied as possible, so you all have to deal with as little of an offshoot as possible. Because you're all banking on the fact that she will pursue, and spoiler, she will pursue. So, all right, rock and roll. Then, if there's nothing else, I think that's where we'll park the car. I would like you all to go ahead and have 4 milestones because I'm nothing if not a generous deity. I loved today's session. I was especially fond of the fact that there was a little bit of wringing of hands over like, wait a second, are we the baddies? Like, is this what separates this from what the Gatimians were doing? Like...
I think for Maris, it's Maris is definitely aware that the Dragon-Blooded probably aren't the good people in all of this. Like, but they're the least bad people.
Right. They're the devil,
Are we gonna have to wild hunt ourselves?
And for those of you who may not be familiar, the means by which Ellentine is going to move the island is the neighborhood relocation scheme. It's a sidereal charm. It's right in the Essence book. I read that and I was like,
it's such a vanilla name.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you're just gonna move. Yeah, I'm gonna move the entire thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So yeah, that said then, thank you all so much for being here, whether you're watching live or in Memorex. Hey, Hot Dog Wizard, sorry, I just saw you. Thank you for the resub. So yeah, we are gonna park the car here. We are gonna be back in 2 weeks' time, provided that the youngling does not burst out of bliss like the Kool-Aid Man between now and then. So otherwise, if that's the case, we'll post our congratulations on social media and we'll let you know when we'll be back. Thank you all so much for being here. Go buy books at Drive-Thru. They're very cheap for the next week. And yeah, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you again real soon.
Bye.
Bye.